Hey everyone, welcome to Val Full Volume. I'm Val, and I am so happy to bring you into January. I am excited for 2025. I'm excited to see what this is going to bring with all of these changes that I really do feel are coming into play. And yes, you're nodding already. I knew as soon as I said I don't come in with questions that it naturally flows. So I have my guest here, Jenna, and she's nodding her head so much yes if you are on just the audio and not the video. So I know this is going to be even more exciting than I thought. Thank you for being here, Jenna.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Can't wait for this conversation.
I know, right? So, Jenna, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself, tell my listeners anything you would like them to know?
Absolutely. So, I'm Jenna Faith, also known as Jen Scalia. Had a little brand upgrade a couple years ago where I changed my name. But I have been in the online industry for going on 12 years now, which is pretty insane. I work with mostly female entrepreneurs. I help them with their visibility blocks. I help them with their mindset. And I also help them with the nitty gritty business stuff. I've been marketing for 20 plus years. So, that's definitely my wheelhouse, my bread and butter. I love to help people with that. And I am a huge advocate of email too. So if we want to talk about that,
we could talk about so much. We could talk about so much. As soon as I saw your list, I'm like, oh, easy peasy conversation here. Because yes to all of that, the mindset, and then you literally do know that the mindset is the biggest part. I mean, it's the part that even you and I will work through consistently because we have these stupid human brains that just want to stop us, right? So I know you started nodding your head about changes. Oh my gosh. Have you felt them as much as I have?
Absolutely. I feel like this past year, the changes have been rapid.
Yeah.
But I think in a good way. I think some people might be a little fearful about the changes and what might happen. But in my perspective, it's kind of like, this is actually I feel forcing us to step up, and to really bring it and to really showcase what we do in a different way, or else you are going to be left behind, So I feel like it's you got one of two camps, okay, I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, even though it doesn't work anymore, right? Or it's starting to work less and less, or hey, I'm actually going to level up and I'm going to do some different things and try some different things and put myself out there in a different way.
Yeah, it's been so exciting to connect with entrepreneurs like yourself that have been in the industry for a while. And I mean, just having that conversation of, okay, we know, and I will admit it, we know that we are at the forefront of what this change is going to be. And I know for me, I've been anxious because I do know that what I'm doing is going to be at the forefront, but still not quite there with understanding what that's going to be. It's just like, okay, stop. Calm down, human brain. This is why I have to get the massage today. Calm down, human brain.
I always say you just got to roll with the punches. And that's to me, that's a lot of the mindset work as well, is not needing to know what the outcome is going to be, not needing to know everything before you take that first step, and just okay, I'm in this, right? Committing to being in it no matter what, and also being flexible in terms of the changes that could happen, and things that could, come along and things that could go away. I mean, there's people facing a TikTok ban, is that going to happen? We don't know. We might not even know until the 9th hour, So it's what are you going to do? Well, guess we'll roll with the punches when it comes to that, right? And kind of figure that out.
Yes. We can only control what we can control. And even then in business, I don't know if there's anything I could put on the list that is a thing that I could actually control, because I'm coming out of dumpster fires of tech issues. And this is my long time tech stack. So I've had to roll with the punches for weeks now of, okay, breathe. How are we going to change this? Okay, breathe. I can't change this. What can I do instead? Which I think is one of the big things that I've been working with my clients about, is all right, Let's not focus on what is messed up. TikTok. I mean, that's coming up. People are freaking out about it. But what can we focus on that is working instead? Are you seeing anything that's you're really feeling is working even more now?
I mean, I feel like with the advancements of like AI and things like that, I feel like it's like you kind of have to, you're going to have to, you know, kind of lean towards that way. Or, and I'm not saying, you know, you have to like completely replace yourself or anything like that, but it's like these new things that are coming out, and even on certain platforms when they come up with new, you know, features and things like that, it's like they want you to explore that. They want you to use it like for a reason, right? So, you know, I think it really is too about like when those things come out, also being discerning about where you're going to put your time and energy. Like, am I going to like go all in with this thing, or am I going to keep doing it this way, but maybe add little things here and there, you know? Right. But I definitely feel like that's going to be huge. I mean, obviously it's been about 2 years since AI became mainstream, especially in the business world. So I think there's going to be a lot of changes when it comes to that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes with platforms, which is why I always email for the win, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like, just thinking from a different place as well, you know, not just like, I actually just wrote an email about this. Like, it's like, you know, especially when you've been in the industry for so long, it's sometimes easy to kind of rest on your laurels. Like, I have the experience. I know all this stuff. I've been doing this for years, you know, and it's just like, okay, well, what about that thing that you've been doing for years that isn't really working anymore? You know, are you going to keep trying to do that, or you're going to advance yourself the way, you know, the people who are going to run right past you are going to do?
Right. And I know that when I'm working with my clients, part of the thing is, okay, we've got your expertise. We know what direction you want to go. How can we really push it out there? How can you push it out there differently? And how can you use the tools? Like you said, the AI is here. It's a tool. It's a great tool. I mean,
I just said the other day, I said, if that existed 10 years ago when I started, I'd be a billionaire.
Right?
Like, no doubt.
Absolutely. I mean,
you know?
just the brainstorming that I've done in the last couple of months to work towards what I'm going to do in 2025. I'm just like, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it. You know? Yeah, so we've watched Elf a few times already this season. So you have talked about email, and you've mentioned it a couple of times. So I am wondering, are you feeling resistance from some people still about email, and this is why it's like popping out for you? It
is so interesting to me that after all this time, people still are resistant to doing the email thing. And it's just like, if you're spending all of this time creating content for Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, why not just put that in an email? You know, it really is just like it just boggles my mind that you would take a risk on only 2 to 10 people seeing a post, whereas you could have hundreds or potentially thousands on, you know, depending on the size of your list, seeing your offer every single day.
I know.
You know?
It's so surprising. And it's surprising to me because email is the only consistent thing that I have had in business for the 25 years.
Yeah.
The only thing. And it's like, so why is the doubt there? I'm curious about why that doubt is there and that block.
I mean, a lot of people, from what I hear, is like people will say, well, I hate email, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, okay. That's smart business decision. Right. But the way that I look at it is like, email is a selling platform. Go in your email right now. Everybody's trying to sell you something. You have coupons, you know, from the grocery store. You have clothing companies that send you 5 emails a day. You know, it's like, if you go on there, like, and that's what I don't get, because it's like, okay, you can market, right, on your social media and like put yourself out there, but drive people back to your selling platform, which is going to be email. Like, people sort of expect to be sold through email. Yeah. Whereas on social media, unless you're doing it in the right way, people don't like to be sold to on social media. You know, they want to be entertained. They want to get value. They want to read content, you know? So it's like, bring them over there to where you can sell them, and it's not a turnoff for them.
Yeah. I've been working on trying to flip some people's, because I have some brand new entrepreneurs that I've been working with. And so, I mean, they've just got blocks all over the place because they've never been online. And I've been trying to explain to them that if you are focused on your social media and you are not focused on your email list, then you are rude. Because those people on your email list requested. They gave you the gold of your email and you are ignoring them. And that is just fucking rude.
It is rude. It is rude. I say that all the time. I'm like, imagine if a guy gave you his number, right? Or you gave a guy your number and he didn't call you. You'd
Perfect.
be like, what the heck? I gave you my number. I said, yes, I want to hear from you. And you're not coming through. And that's another reason. Yeah.
See, I love it. I love it. Yes, I do love when I get guests on here and we can agree and all of that. You know, I do love the other side too if you have other opinions. We don't have to agree. Because that's when we can find a lot of stuff too and talk it out. So do you have any tips for helping those with that block of email? Of how to start going forward, besides what we just told them that they're being rude and ghosting their people.
Well, I mean, I think it's actually very easy if they're already creating content for another platform. So say, for example, like you're really good at video, you're making YouTube videos or you're doing even live streams, it's not necessarily about the content of the email. I mean, that could play a part depending on what your email strategy is, but it really is for you to stay top of mind. Because if I could do 10 posts a week on Facebook, how many people are going to see it? I have no idea. Right? But I know that if I send it in an email, a lot of people are going to see it. So for me, if you're already creating the content, let's say you make an epic post on Facebook, just copy and paste it, throw it into an email and send it, because you might only get a handful of people to see it on Facebook, whereas your email, you're going to get a couple hundred or a couple thousand people seeing it. Same thing with video. Even if it's just take a screenshot of your video and say, hey, I just did a video on X, Y, or Z. Here's 3 bullet points. Watch the video here. So it can literally be that simple. A lot of people, I think, are just making it too complicated or like, they overthink what has to be in the email.
Oh, for sure. And I know some of my emails they're usually my random thoughts. I'm emailing most every day.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's just coming in. I've just got this random rant that's coming in and they're like, well, I just don't know what to say. I'm like, you don't have to email like I email. Okay. Because I've been doing this for a long time. You email, for one, it's your business. You do it as you. But exactly what you just said, it can be that simple. You just push them to where they're going to get the information from you. And it doesn't have to be salesy and scary.
Yeah. And even with AI, I mean, there really is no excuse.
Yeah.
There literally is no excuse.
Yeah.
You could put your idea, whatever is coming to mind, or, maybe it's a shorter Facebook post and throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you expand on this? And, make it an email to my list.
Yep.
Now you have an email. There's no excuse.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned the YouTube. I mean, if you put your YouTube video in, there's plenty of platforms. You put your YouTube in there, you can have that thing. It'll kick out the email for you. And all you have to do is barely personalize it. It kicks out the posts for you to social media. I mean, it's just that tool. I mean, like you just said, if we had that years ago, oh my gosh, the sky would just be, they wouldn't even be the limit. The sky would not even be the limit for having that tool on our side. So use it, people, use it. Now, I know I've been having this because, like I said, I've got new people that have come in with the whole sales concept. They are feeling skeezy about sales. They are feeling, used car, old school, I mean, good grief, we're barely to car salesmen anymore right now, are we? But they have that feeling of selling. How did you combat that way back prior as well?
I definitely had that. I for sure had that, and for me, I feel like it was a fear of rejection. Like I didn't want to hear the no, I didn't want people to say no because I thought that meant something about me. Right. And, it's like, if you're in this type of business, sales is the lifeblood of your business. You have to sell. You have to be willing to get rejected. And also, like, in my perspective, I always think about like our crappy stats, right? Of like just a percentage of people are going to buy. That means for every 100 people, 1 or 2 people, if you're lucky, maybe 5 people will buy, right?
Yeah.
So that means 95% of people aren't buying. Yeah. So if you kind of go into it knowing that, like, okay, I'm going to get rejected by 95% of people, right? But for those 5%, this is how I want to show up. For those 5%, they need what I have. And I really feel like that ultimately plays into like how you feel about your product, how you feel about yourself, you being 100% backing your product, knowing that you can get the results. Because when you have something that is life-changing, transformative for people, again, you're doing a disservice to those people by not selling, right? By keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, it's rude. Yeah, it's rude. Mm-hmm. And it is the purpose. And the why of why we're getting out there is we want to get those sales. So get your email out. People have to know. They have to know about it. I mean, it's been over 15 years since we could put websites up. and we just got traffic and just magic happened. It's been way over 15 years. So there's no field of dreams. It's stepping in and taking accountability and owning your business and finding people like Jenna who's going to help you with that mindset.
Yeah.
Of, okay,
I love buying stuff. Yeah. I say when I'm scrolling Facebook, like I'm shopping. I'm like, you know, like who's going to sell me something cool today, you know? Like,
right?
I mean, maybe that's just me because I've been in the industry for so long, but like I like seeing that. I like seeing people really show up and like, wow, like I want that thing. I don't even need that thing, but I want it, you know? Right. But the more conviction that you have in your product and in yourself, that's when people are going to come. That's what people are attracted to. If you have doubt, if you have fear, if you're unsure, that's going to seep into your content and people are going to feel that and then they're not going to buy from you. So it's like you have to back yourself first for somebody else to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you really nailed a big mindset part right there of why they're not selling, because they're not feeling confident. Mm-hmm. They're not 100% sure that this is going to work, you know. And is there any way for them to kind of, I know we can work through that, we can ask coaches and all of that, but is there any way for testing so that you can get that mindset and know for sure, yes, I brought in this.
Just do it. No, just do it. The more you do it, the better. But actually, one of the things that I've done in my business for at least the last 5 years is I do a lot of case studies or beta testing when I have because it's not necessarily a new idea, but it might be a new format or it might be a new thing that I want to, implement or a new course that I want to create. I'll run a beta, and that does not mean free. I don't do them for free, but I'll do them for half price or, a quarter of what it would normally be. And I bring in a small group of people, 5 to 10 people, to actually go through the process with me so that I can know for sure that it works. They're getting that perk of the discount. They're getting that perk of that access to me. So I think those are really important. I feel like that's definitely a lost art in our industry. I feel like a lot of people just put stuff out there and they're lacking so much mastery in what they're doing. It's like, okay, I just did this last week. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. Nope, we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to do that. We want to actually bring people in and try it because different industries, different mindsets, different, circumstances are going to yield different results.
Yeah. And okay, listeners, I think that right there is a very golden nugget that you need to grab a hold of is the fact that Jenna and I, when we run something new, it's still something new. Yes, we've done it before. Yes, it could, we know it works, but the format could be different. And it's just really important to remember that if you believe in your stuff, get it out there. I'm just as uncomfortable putting stuff out there when it's brand new. I mean, I try not to be personal with it, but it's still time, effort, and it's going to help people.
Well, and that's your body of work, that's your fulfillment. That's your livelihood. So of course there's always going to be some are people going to like this, Yeah. So I totally get that. I still feel that 12 years in as well. You're going to get that feeling, but it's overcoming that to ultimately get to that outcome and that goal that you want.
Yeah. And honestly, if we don't get that feeling, we should probably get the hell out.
Absolutely,
because we're not in the right market anymore. If we're not getting scared about putting something brand new out there, then we've lost touch.
Yeah, because at that point it's it doesn't even matter to you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, we've thrown a bunch of stuff out there. The emails, the mindset about the emails, the mindset about selling. Is anything else popping for you?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about the mindset pieces too, especially because your audience, like a lot of them are like in the newer space. Like, I just feel like, you know, especially coming into a space that has been, you know, now it's many, many years, you know, that we've been online and we've seen people come and go and all of that stuff. And I just feel like it's so important to do that work as well, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's journaling. I'm a huge fan of journaling, you know, visualization, meditation, like whatever that is going to get you in that place and put you in that place to really show up. Because I feel like going into 2025, like your presence, meaning how other people are going to perceive you, is going to be huge. Yes. You know, just everybody's visual, everybody's attention spans are very short. So it's like you pretty much have to grab people right away. So you've got to do that inner work first to lay the foundation of the stuff that you're actually, you know, logistically going to do or physically going to do in your business. And I say this all the time. I'm like, if it really was just about doing, everyone would be a multimillionaire, right? Because the information's out there. The information's everywhere. You can go on YouTube, TikTok. You can learn anything you want. There's even MIT classes that you could take for free on YouTube. So it's not about the learning or what you need to know or even what you do. I think it just ultimately starts with like who you are while you're doing it and just your presence and how you show up for people.
Yeah. And I know I do know for some people that's the scary shift, because they're if you're not coming in authentically in 2025, you're not coming in. I mean, we are all so tired of the bullshit. We are so tired of the crappy marketing, of overhyped. And I know for a lot of people, that's scary. It's scary for me. And you guys know that I am freaking out here, you know, like messy and everything. I don't care. And it still gets scary at times to be authentic. It'd be like, okay, there is a piece of me and somebody might not like me. It's all high school all over again, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, and I'm an introvert as well. So a lot of people don't believe me now, but I'm like, well, I had to do what I had to do for my business, you know, so I'm not here that I am an introvert, but I am, you know, and like, you know, I have the same quirks and I have the same hesitations and the same resistance to all of those things. And it's just about putting that vision that you have, whatever it is that you're trying to create, at the forefront of everything. Yeah. And that's more important than your ego. That's more important than what your Uncle Bob is going to say, you know, at Christmas dinner, right? Oh, I saw you post whatever. Yeah, I've gone through all of that.
I know. Oh, gosh. Yes. I remember way back in the day when people were just starting to get online, except besides us people that were nerds. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to find my blog. Oh my God, they're going to find my blog.
Yeah. And it really is just like the people that are for you are really the only people that should matter, you know? So I think a lot of people do hesitate in what they're going to say or what they're going to post or how they're going to show up because of people that don't even matter. Right? Like they're not even your ideal clients. They're never going to buy from you, those people. Yeah. But yet you're putting all of your energy into how you're going to look to that person versus creating the content and putting yourself out there for your soulmate clients and the people who really are going to, you know, come to you.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to the email as well, because I know that there's the people that are just like you said towards the beginning of, well, I don't like getting all the emails, so I'm not going to do it. There's those people, well, I don't want to get all the unsubscribes, and you know, I'm like, freaking celebrate the unsubscribes. They don't cost you any money anymore, and they let themselves out the door nicely. You didn't even have to have a talk about it. They just let themselves out the door. Thank you. Bless you. Bye-bye.
I mean, I do the same thing, you know, because I like getting daily. Typically, the people I get a daily email from, I stay on their list no matter what.
Absolutely.
Even if I don't read all the emails, I'll just might delete them or save them for later or whatever. But my daily emailers, like I'm all in with them. Yeah. And I also know that for me personally, if I know I'm not going to ever buy from someone, I'll usually get off their list pretty quickly. Once I realize, like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm probably not going to buy from that person, and or I'm not really getting value from their emails. So again, it's like forcing you to step up, that when you do send those emails or when you do make those offers, when you do create those things, like you want people to want them, right? And so you have to step up to create that at a level that is going to make people want to stay.
Yeah. So how did you work through, because you said you're an introvert, how did you work through, because I assume you knew you were an introvert before, so you'd already labeled yourself, right? So you'd already given yourself permission to fall into, okay, well, I don't have to do this kind of stuff because I'm an introvert. This is a huge topic for me. I work with a lot of introverts. How did you start that process, or was there a process of getting over?
I mean, it took a while. It definitely took a while, but it turned into that I either had to go all in with my business and put myself out there, or I had to go get a job.
Yeah.
And that was like, I call it my come to Jesus moment, where I had been like maybe a year into my business and I wasn't really having a business at that point. Let's just be honest. I was screwing around. I was like creating all these things, but I was not making offers. I was not doing launches. I was scared to ask for the sale. I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was busying myself. And then I got to that point where I was like, it's been a year and I haven't gotten any clients yet. What's going on? I had to have that conversation with myself of like, are you going to go all in with this, or are you going to go get a job for $10 an hour?
Love it.
Obviously
Love it.
The job for $10 an hour wasn't going to happen. So I had to really put myself out there, and I just say I had to like check my ego, really, because I feel like a lot of that stuff, like the resistance, what are people going to think of me, or what if I look stupid? Like that's all ego. That's all, your own BS. Like you have to get over that.
Yeah.
Have to.
Love it. I'm so happy to hear everything that I tell my clients about being an introvert, because I'm an ambivert, so I go both ways. People just assume, like, I bet that they assume with you now where you are in your business that you're an extrovert, and it's like, oh hell no. I mean, I took calming drops before I even got on here, and I was excited for this, but I was just like, oh my gosh, here we go, and I had to check my ego. It's like, what do I want more? Do I want my business, or do I want to go and chill? Because I can go chill at any time. I could stop, like you said, go do something else. I know that people get scared with that. They hold on to that introvert. Well, I can't because I'm an introvert. And then luckily I can point to you now as well, because I've got some other clients. And when you are passionate about what you are doing, the introvert can go away. That whole concept. Or you leverage it. You use it to your advantage. Because I believe like introverts, like I feel like they're probably the most powerful and can be the most successful if they're really leveraging their unique gifts and the unique way that they approach the world, and along with, human design or like personality tests, like I do feel a lot of people will like hinder themselves by certain things that they find out, like, oh, I'm this kind of, human design, so I can't do that, Yes. So it's like, you can make excuses, right? You're really good at that, or you can make the moves. Yes. Like, which one is it going to be? Yeah, because I have the introvert in my family. I mean, my husband's more introverted, which is hilarious because his job is 100% customer service out in the public. But it's just the way he processes things is so different. And I am like, blah, 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 blah. I have to process out loud, and he's already processing inside. So it works so good because, like, all of a sudden he'll just come up with some gold, And that's when using that introvert is to your advantage, because yes, you tend to think about it a little bit more. We can work through it, maybe process in a different way. Where I am processing out loud messy. I mean, I'm doing that with my members right now. I'm like, all right, truth bomb lesson, here we go.
Well, and I feel too, like, back to the subject of email, like email is an introvert's dream. Yes. I mean, think about it. You don't have to go on a live stream on social media. You don't have to like show your face. You don't have to do all this stuff and try to get validation off of social media. You could just send one email and that'll do the job of 10 of your social media posts.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. So what are takeaways, you guys? Takeaways. We want email. We're not going to grab a hold of labels and use them as an excuse. Labels don't have to be the excuse. They can just be the part of our personality that we work with, not against. Work with.
Absolutely.
So, any last message that you would like to throw out there for everyone? I'm trying to see. We're right around the 30 mark, so I know we're getting close there for people listening.
Bring it back to the authenticity. Like you were saying, I know it's, especially when you've been online for a long time, we have a lot of conditioning of like what we think we're supposed to do or how we think we're supposed to show up. And really, if you just keep your vision and that dream that you have, that goal that you have top of mind, let go of the ego and just show up and share with people what you have, right? Share your gifts, showcase what you do in not trying to be somebody else. You know, and that's hard too, because it's so easy to compare ourselves with other people, and we don't know what their situation is. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what they have in place, and so you really just have to be focused on yourself and you know how you're going to bring that to the table.
Absolutely. And you'll connect so much more if you're being authentic. You're going to find your right people that are going to follow you and connect. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Jenna. I appreciate you. I am looking forward to digging in, especially because I don't think I joined your school group, which is really weird that I didn't. So I will be heading over there immediately to go check that out, because I'm all in on school right now.
I love it. I think it's awesome
I do
platform.
too.
Yeah, and I've tried everything. I'm sure you've tried everything too, and I'm just like, I like this one. Like this.
Yeah,
this
it's
one's
the first one that I have come to where, I mean, I'm getting traffic from other places. So as a businesswoman, I adore that part. But it's the first platform that I actually am like, oh, I'm excited to go check in again. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to go connect with these people again versus the feeling I get when I'm going to go to Facebook.
Yeah. I hear you.
So I will be over there. I will have all sorts of ways that you can connect with Jenna and go and find out more information about her. And because especially, I mean, I know that there's bunches of you that are on here and you just know that you need to go and get more Jenna and connect with her in more ways, because that's how the podcast rolls. I always have these wonderful people like you, Jenna, that, you know, people are just like instantly, I guess, to have more. So all the information will be down there in the show notes, guys, and go check out what she's doing right now and starting into the new year with 2025. Thanks so much for being here, Jenna.
Thank you for having me.
You.
Absolutely.